Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Women in Security Navigate Her Coffee Chat series. I'm Beth Anderson, and alongside me is my co-chair, Emma Barkley. We're thrilled you've joined us today for a relaxed, candid conversation about building successful careers in security. Our goal is to connect you with inspiring stories, practical insights, and real-world advice from leading women in the field. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emma Barkley, and this is another Women in Engineering Coffee Chat with NavigateHER and Women in Security Forum. And I have the utmost pleasure today to be joined with one of our engineers at my company, JCI Security Products, Joan, who is going to give some background on her experience in engineering and some of the emerging technologies she likes and some unexpected pivots in her career as well. So, Joan, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Hello, everyone. My name's Joan Caponi, and I've been an engineer here at JCI working on Secure 9000 for the past 20 years. As Emma said, I was like, what? You want me to do this? But the one reason that I chose to do it is I have a daughter, one child, and she is also an engineer. And her friends are engineers, and that is something that I'm really proud of. And I always hope that there's more girls that choose this as a career. So that was the reason that I did it. When my mom was a high school graduating senior, she did not have the choices that I had. She had, although she was one of the brightest and smartest women that I knew, she had a choice. She could be a nurse, a teacher, or a secretary. So she chose to be an educator and taught kindergarten and first grade for 30 years. And when I became a junior in high school, she wanted me to have any choice of what I wanted to do. And my high school was very small and didn't have any computer classes. So on her summer vacation, she drove me to Worcester, which was an hour away, so that I could take a computer class to see if I would like it. And so I've always tried to do that and given my daughter the choices that she could do anything that she wanted. And when she got to be about in the 8th grade, she said to me, "Mom, I want to have the kind of life that you and Dad do." My husband is also into engineering, and I said, well, your high school offers a pre-engineering program. So she took that all 4 years, and she went to the University of Lowell, or UMass Lowell, to study mechanical engineering. Did that for a year and decided she didn't like it. And she changed her major to civil engineering. And she just graduated this past May with a degree in civil engineering. And she's doing the traffic aspect and the road signs and doing projects like that. And she loves it. So that was the reason that I chose to do this talk.
No, I'm so glad that you chose to do this. I think one of the things that we were talking about before we started recording is that women in STEM programs are on the rise. And I think when you started at university, it was one of the first years that women were in the engineering program.
Yeah, they were only there they had only been admitted for 9 years. So it was interesting. I had classes where I was the only female, and you just got used to nothing phases me. Like the colleagues that I have now, they'll say something, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, I have heard it all and done it all.
Yes.
So
no, absolutely.
Don't worry about it. But I think being a woman in engineering, you have a different viewpoint. As I was talking to Emma earlier, I said that one of the things that I like to do when we get new people in our group is try try to make them feel welcome right away. Try to include them into our group, and always try to answer questions in a way that is non-intimidating and welcoming, because there are no stupid questions. They're just questions that don't have answers yet.
No, absolutely. And let's be honest, engineering is full of problem solving. So there's lots of questions that have to be asked in order to be a good engineer. So
yeah, one of the things that I didn't think of it till recently. One thing I like to do is solve problems, and I do that with defects and features. But in my off time, I do read mysteries, and my husband will laugh at me and say, all you do is read about dead people. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to figure it out before I finish reading. The other thing that I like to do is, or I like about this sort of engineering, is the creativity to build the feature in a way that it's easy to use. And in my own time, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is knitting. And that's a very creative use of what I'm doing. It also keeps my mind sharp and helps me create beautiful things that I can make for myself, make for my daughter, make for my family. So it's just a good mix. It's just a different use of the same skills.
No, absolutely. That is phenomenal. I think, I always pride myself in watching the movie and trying to figure it out, or reading the book and figuring it out well before you kind of get to where all the clues line up. So, I think there is sprinkles of that aspect throughout your childhood, throughout your schooling years. And so I think one of the things you mentioned also is your daughter, and she didn't want to go into engineering. And then she saw, hey, mom and dad, you have this great life. Like, let me look at these things. But she also is a product of her mom and dad. And so she probably has a lot of those same, I want to solve the mystery, or I have this creative vision. And so that really drew her into engineering as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. And she's also just started crocheting. So it's funny how she's comes
picking up the whole family business, right?
So, yep. So that was one of the main driving forces, is to try to excite her and her friends. She has her community of friends from college, a larger portion of mechanical engineers, because that's what she started with, but at least 4 women in civil engineering. And the good thing about her going into engineering is we're really in a down market for new grads, and every one of her civil engineering friends, male or female, got a job without much much effort, shall we say. So.
No, absolutely. And one of the things we always bring up on all these topics, because I think this applies to any job, is the engineering in AI and all those different tools. And I think there's still such a human element, especially when it comes to engineering. AI can't directly replace a lot of those capabilities. It can enhance those capabilities. We can't take away from it.
No, we've been using it a lot. I was just on a project where I had to take an integration that we had for high assurance cards and build that into the regular Secure. So it wasn't written by JCI people. It was by a private contractor, so they weren't there anymore. And so I had to use the AI to figure out what the code did.
Absolutely.
Enhance it and change it So I just finished that, and now we're getting more into using the AI to help us fix defects, help us write code. And you would think, especially as I'm getting towards the twilight of my career, I would say, that you would think I would be worried about, oh, this is going to replace me. But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as it's a way to have it help you do the mundane part so that you can work on the part that is more interesting, I think. So I don't
absolutely
fear it at all. I think it's a good thing. It's very, very useful. And some of the bugs that we get these days, since our product has been around a long time, are very difficult. And so any help we can get to get to the root cause of the problem is welcome.
Yeah, it saves a lot of hours, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's an enhancer again of the mundane work, so that you can get back to the exciting things and that more creative outlet, right?
Yeah, I mean, because we still it can handle the ins and outs of the code, but I mean, the people in my group, I mean, we all have 20 years of the domain knowledge, so we know what it's supposed to do. It can figure out how to get there. That's fine.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Yeah. So I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So,
no, not at all.
What advice would you give to young women considering a career in engineering, and specifically in the security industry?
Well, I think it's a very interesting space, problem space. Just in the time that I've worked on there are a lot of the features in our product that I have touched. Probably the only ones that I haven't stuck my fingers in is more the crossfire itself. But any of the things that you would see in the panes, whether it be personnel, cards, the hardware, any of those kind of things. I've worked more on the UI. So there's a very wide set of problems within this space just for our one product. I mean, we have to deal with video, we have to deal with personnel and credentials and the different kind of cards. That's something that I didn't quite understand was as large as it is, but having gone through the integration into the main product, I learned a lot about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But there are a lot of there's a lot of room for a person to work in this industry, I think.
No, for sure. There's a lot of different components that go into security and aspects that really are beneficial to the space. And so from an engineer's perspective, you can pick from a lot of different realms. And it's all contributing overall to the security industry.
Yeah. And if people ask me what I do, I say, do you badge yourself in to get into your building? And they say yes. And I'm like, well, I do that. That's what we work on. So it's very interesting, I think. At my first glance was, oh, this isn't going to be hard. But there's so many things that have to mesh together that you have to think about. But it's certainly a problem that's not going to go away. It will change, but they're going to need this kind of problem space and solutions for a long time.
No, again, we're dealing with human behavior. AI can't replace that. That's a machine. Human behavior is completely different, and you need individuals that understand the complexities of humans in order to work on these types of systems and figure out what works best.
Yeah, I did a lot of, at the beginning, it was a lot of what the UI was going to look like. I mostly worked on that in the beginning. And so it was, how would the integrators want to use it? How would the end users want to use it? Because typically they have different use cases that they would do. And so that was always interesting.
Yep, totally different job roles. So, what do you wish women knew before entering the engineering or into security in general?
I think not to be scared of, oh, it's an all male oriented environment. There's plenty of room for women in this industry, and I think you would bring a different input or a different slant to what you thought about the product. Because I know, particularly in the larger JCI team that, say, the firmware group, if they have a question on how Secure works and they want to configure something, they'll just come ask me because they say, if you don't know the answer, you'll know who to direct me to. And so, and I would always help anyone. And I think that's a valuable skill to learn because you never know when you're going to need help from someone else.
No, for sure. So, again, people probably say that I say this too much on these different coffee chats, but I think that emotional intelligence that women offer really helps in all circumstances, especially in the engineering field. And when you have people that are more introverted, and sometimes it's hard to ask for help, and so being that open person that helps them get that help, and that they can see that there's people out there that are willing in that capacity, I think that goes a long way in their careers as well.
Well, I mean, I had people that helped me. I had both female and male bosses, and you just draw from each what you need. When one of my early bosses, I was living out in Ohio, and my family is here in Massachusetts, and they came to visit, and the next day she said, we're going to help you find a new job because you're homesick and you need to go back. And so she did, and I landed a wonderful role for Xerox when they were building their first networked printer. So I worked there for 8 years. And that was the longest I had been anywhere in my career up to that point until I came here, and now I've been here 20 years. So.
Yes. So I think you seeing that person that was willing to help you, that helps motivate you to be that person for other individuals, which
right.
It goes full circle. And if we have more of that, we can make the world a better place for sure. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
So what emerging technologies in security excite you the most?
I would say the AI that we were talking about, because I see it as such a helper. I don't see it as any kind of competition. It just makes our job easier.
No, for sure. It takes away from the man hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I joke about like the Industrial Revolution. I know that was so long ago, and there's so many other examples in history. But when you go from having a whole bunch of people doing a manual job to then having machines be able to work in that capacity, we've had to evolve in all those circumstances, and it
Right.
just continued to diminish the people that we need on the manufacturing line, truthfully. And so this is another way that we're going to shift the marketplace. And I think as long as you shift with it, it doesn't become a job taker. When you're using it to enhance your job capabilities and you're using it above and beyond, I think that just is going to create an acceleration of innovation in technology. And so I think we're going to see a lot of great things that come out of it from both people and technology.
I agree. I think that particularly it will aid in the gaining the domain knowledge, because the AI can create such depth of documentation of in my case, what the code does. So you don't have to be the only one who knows about X to use it. You could look at the documentation and get a sense of what the code's all about. And I think that will help in that process as well.
Yes, no, absolutely. I don't know about you, but the paperwork is not the fun part of the job.
No,
right?
no,
So
it's
trying
not.
to explain and type all that information up to help the next person, or
Yeah.
that next evolution is that those are the powers of AI that will definitely help.
Yeah, I think so.
So one last question. Were there
Okay.
any unexpected pivots or challenges along your career path that you want to tell the group about?
Well, I mean, as I told you before, I've worked on a lot of different applications, and I've worked through a lot of downturns in the economy, and so I have gotten laid off and had to find another job, which usually led me into a different industry. And you just have to embrace that. I've done that all along, because I went from doing paper simulations to avionics software to the first network printer to ID systems to pharmaceutical software that would allow them to find out the concentration of the ingredients, to then ending up in security. So it just, you can use your knowledge to any industry. They all apply. It's just what you're thinking about it as.
Yeah, and I think you can probably describe this best because of your experience, but learning never stops, right? You're always
Oh,
you
no.
have to constantly be learning, and I think that's the power of engineering, and the creativity is you're constantly wanting to evolve and
Right.
grow. And I think you had mentioned a great point earlier that when you had your daughter, that there was no time to take off, right? Because technology evolves very quickly.
Yeah.
And so you went right back to work, and so that you wouldn't fall behind or
Right.
in other
I did.
capacities. Yeah.
And all the things that I learned in school, they don't use anymore. And so my whole career, I've had to learn different technology. Because if you look back to the middle 80s when I got out of school to now, I mean, things have changed so drastically. Like when I was in school, we used punch cards. You didn't even have a terminal. So yeah, you're always learning something new.
Yes. So that willingness to adapt, that will be critical in your career for sure.
I think so.
Well, Joan, I am so happy that you agreed to do this coffee chat, and I'm so grateful for your daughter as that inspiration for you sitting down with me today and taking the time out of your day. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Women in Engineering Coffee Chat, and join us next time here on the Security Industry Association YouTube page. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Emma Barkley, and this has been a Navigate Her Coffee Chat with my co-chair, Beth Anderson. We hope you found today's conversation inspiring and useful as you navigate your own path in security. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us for upcoming sessions, and feel free to reach out with feedback or topics you'd like to explore next. Until next time, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep leading.